Alright, hello guys. Guess what? Blizzard's just announced they have some new changes. Well, I guess they announced these a few weeks ago. They said, hey, here's some changes, try them out. They then said, hey, here's some other alternative changes, let's try them out. Now they're saying, you know what? We featured these two sets of changes, we finally finalized it, and we've come to the conclusions about what we're going to put into the game. So, couple of changes. They've said, look, first of all, we'd like to go over some of the changes we decided not to move forward with. So when I was first reading this, after waking up after a late night casting WCS, I was like, oh my god, they went through with this change? But no, these are the changes they didn't go through with. So first of all, Warp Prism no longer starts with Warp Prism Conduit passive ability. So basically the Warp Prism becoming a slow pylon, essentially, they got rid of that. They said, no, look, we saw good constructive discussion, but we believe that a change along these lines, whilst it would have interesting consequences, but we thought that it would be too big of a change, especially for a mid-year patch. So who knows, maybe they'll revisit that at the end of the year. They also decided to not get rid of the Zealot charge damage. They were proposing removing that. For those of you who don't know, when a Zealot charges a unit, it does 8 bonus damage. And is also guaranteed a hit on that unit. Even if the unit's kind of stimming away, so the Zealot barely scrapes it, it'll still get a hit. So they still always have the ability to hit, and they still have that 8 damage bonus. They said, you know what, this was proposed to address multiple concerns, especially the potency of all-ins in PvZ, aka the Marjorie build, the frontal pushing power of the Protoss army, especially in PvT, and the overall potential for harassment when used with Warp Prisms. However, after further consideration, we now believe the totality of the remaining changes proposed are sufficient to address these concerns for now. So they're saying, look, would have been a bit too big as well. Might have affected, a few too many different things, and we think we've done enough. Now, there is a new change, guys. Infested Terran Rockets weapon cooldown increased from 0.95 to 1.14. So basically they're adding a 20% attack delay. So just basically slower attack on those Infested Terrans anti-air weapon, the Infested Rockets. So they said, look, basically in the last community update, we proposed fixing a bug which allows Infested Rockets to ignore armor. This was in lieu of a different proposal from a previous update to decrease the rocket's attack damage from 14 to 12. Though these two changes are comparable, the bug fix is a much greater hit to the Infested Rocket's effectiveness against naturally high armored units, especially battle cruisers, of course, guys. Following this last update, we received additional feedback that even with the bug fix, Infested Terrans would still be too powerful against Protoss late-game armies. While we considered going forward with both the bug fix and the damage increase, we thought the combination would synergize too much at weakening their damage output against high armored air units. And while this is desirable to some extent, our primary intention was to temper the Infested Terran's strength against interceptors. Thus, we'd instead like to go with an approximate 20% weapon cooldown increase, which would more evenly reduce the Infested Terran's effectiveness against all air units. This brings us to our final list of changes. So basically they're saying, look, we are removing the bug so that they are going to do bonus, they're going to get rid of that bonus ignoring armor damage, because basically the way it worked, for those of you who don't know, it just ignored armor, which people didn't realize for a long time, because how often do you click on and check how much damage an individual Infested Terran shot is doing to battle cruisers? So yeah, definitely a real big change there. So basically they've said, look, the final change for this, let's focus on that one specifically. Infested Terran rocket weapons no longer ignore armor, and Infested rocket weapons cooldown increased from 0.95 to 1.14. So they didn't go ahead with the damage nerf, they went ahead with the armor nerf. So against interceptors, this doesn't really change much, right? Those low armor, zero armor units, this changes pretty much nothing. But it's really big against BCs, so they're having their damage reduced a lot against battle cruisers, and that's big. That's a battle cruiser has 3 base armor, and that's going to be massive. So here's the list of final changes. I guess let's read it from the top to the bottom. I just wanted to talk about that one since we were talking about it. Stim is going to be reduced by 21 seconds to stop it getting sniped as much, allow Terrans to start that a little bit later in their build and still have it come out at the same timing to line up with everything else. New upgrade enhanced shockwaves. Increases the radius of the Ghost EMP round from 1.5 to 2. Costs 150, 150. Research time 79 seconds. Adding a little bit of AoE to that EMP. Very powerful. Makes them a little bit better in the Ghost versus High Templar dance. Makes it a bit easier to hit large parts of the army, which is nice with that upgrade. So I think this is going to be interesting to play out. I still haven't really tested that one out that much. Didn't get to have a lot of very close back and forth matches. I played some games against Jason on the test map, and he is just way out of my league right now in TVP. So yeah, I played a few different games with it, but I'm curious to test this one on the ladder and see if it's something you'll need many, many games to really see how powerful that is. Warp Prisms, of course, are still the amazing anti-EMP, security transport for those High Templar, stopping the EMPs ever hitting them. And that doesn't change that at all. So we'll see exactly what comes about from that. The Zerg changes are that the pneumatized carapace upgrades, that is the Overlord Speed upgrade research, the cost is decreased from 100-100 to 75-75. So going to be encouraging Zerg seeing absolutely everything with that Overlord Speed upgrade again. Just saying, hey, it's just a little bit cheaper. Zerg's complaining about not knowing what they're up against. Get that OV speed, go for it. Of course, the things we talked about with the infested Terrans, they're going to attack a little bit slower, and they're no longer going to ignore armor. Protoss. Warp Prism cost increased from 200 to 250 minerals. Warp Prism pickup range decreased from 6 to 5. Wow. So that Warp Prism getting two very solid nerfs there, guys. And these are the ones which I kind of, I don't know, they just sound not too bad to me compared to like the warp-in speed being changed was crazy. I think the pickup range, was a no-brainer to test out just to make that Warp Prism's ability to shuffle units around just a little bit less omnipotent, The number of times we've seen a PvP battle just like, it's just the Warp Prism just bam, 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 picking units in, dropping them out. And I get that it's very cool distinguisher of skill, but I think it will still be a very cool distinguisher of skill. I think 5 range, still going to be very good, but let's see how it goes. Carrier Interceptor build time decreased from 11 to 9 seconds, so they're toning back the initial nerf. Interceptors used to take like 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, some insanely short amount of time to actually do that. And then they went up to 11, and now obviously with the launch speed being so slow and the fact that it takes 88 seconds to refill interceptors, they're like, oh, we'll make it a little bit nicer, let's make it 9 seconds per interceptor. You can refill a little bit. It was 6 seconds previously, yeah. So it used to be 66 seconds 6 times 8, 48 seconds to refill, and it went up to 88, almost double a full carrier, which is crazy. So that was a big nerf. They're kind of toning that back a little bit. Carriers still do not have the fast launch speed. They're still going to struggle in that regard. Nexus strategic recall cooldown increased from 85 to 130 seconds. I've had a few games recently where people have just constantly repositioned their army with recall to block my drops and that sort of thing. And it's been ultimately triggering. So I'm actually really happy about that one. I've always kind of thought recall was a bit of a... what's the word? Bullshit spell. So it's something which it's very, very integral though. And like the best players use this so much and so well. And it actually is a big comeback mechanic. So what worries me about that is that it is such a big duration difference that has this like kind of effect, which is hard to track throughout many matchups. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on this. We will have to keep our eyes on that one. I definitely think, the recall being as frequent as it was at 85 seconds was so powerful. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on exactly where that goes and see what happens. The remaining changes proposed over the last month have generally been well received. We're confident in moving forward with this finalized list. As always, we thank you for your valuable continued feedback. We'll see you on the ladder. Please keep posting in the Battle.net forums your amazing suggestions. That's what that's code for there, guys. So let's scroll down. Now, I got really freaked out on the last post. The first page of responses were people being like mostly logical and nice. So I'm hoping we can find some interesting stuff. Lol, that's not going to fix the late game PvZ issue we are having. Zerg will still auto-win when reach late game, evenly with Protoss. Look, you nerf the all-in. Buff late game Protoss, so we at least have a chance of winning. P.S. Zerg Nidus has been untouched. 4 queens and lots of speedlings in my main by minute 4 is so BS. I have to open Robo now, otherwise I die to this BS every game versus Zerg. Cause with other opening, I couldn't even kill the damn thing. I'm gonna take a break from this BS meta, see you next balance patch, or never. I like it. Good change. I'm scared about Overlord speed every game, and EMP late game may be too strong. That's just too calm. Come on, where's the salt? No. Oh, no one likes free units. They are frustrating to play against. It's a bit insane to put all of my Zerg late game holes into one unit, the Infestor. Spread it out, introduce a new unit. Modify Swarm Host to be an anti-air unit. I don't know, Entangle may not have ended up being the best spell, but at least it removed infested Terrans for a week. Please get rid of them. Get rid of the infested Terrans. Thanks, Obama, says Karma Prime. What? You're absolutely delusional. The late game nerf to the Infestor is huge. The bug fix in itself constitutes a damage reduction from 17 to 12, thus carriers, assuming late game with +3 upgrades, that's a 30% damage decrease. On top of that, they shoot 16.666% slower, so the new damage now is 12 times 0.83333 equals 10, so overall a damage decrease from 17 to 10, aka 41%. Also, you can just kill a Nidus by pulling workers, maybe a Zealot. 3 probes, easily. You just need vision in your main base. It's not that hard. Silly Protoss players complaining. You guys are shit. Pull a Zealot. Zealot beats a Nidus one. I like this guy. Foyer Frosh. Saying it like it is. I agree. Pretty sure these numbers are wrong, guys. It says 17 to 12 versus carriers. So first things first. He's saying assuming late game with +3 upgrades. So let's correct this post, guys. Infested Terrans still get upgrades, right? Did they change that? Please tell me they... Pretty sure they didn't change that, right? Infestors don't get +3, says Blocks. Oh, wait. Did they remove upgrades completely? I'm trying to remember. Man. No, I'm pretty sure they still get +3. So obviously your upgrades are going to cancel out the air upgrades, as if they're going to have air armor upgrades faster than you have ranged upgrades. Yeah, infested Terrans are still insane. Patty Max says, is it spell damage? No, they get upgrades. Yeah, then it's not spell damage. Yeah. Yeah, they removed it in Wings of Liberty, but they gave it back like a year and a half ago. They gave upgrades back to infested Terrans. They're ridiculously good. So anyways, I think this one's really interesting here because the numbers are just completely wrong, right? Like, it's not just me. Can we get like some number checks? Because I can't do maths on stream. Pretty sure these numbers are just completely made up. So I think what they thought is, I think they think that the upgrades only count for the carriers and not for the infested Terrans. I also think they think the damage nerf went through as well as the attack delay, as well as the armor ignoring. Oh, he's talking about because at the moment they go through the armor upgrades. I mean, it's a fucking bullshit bug that needs to be removed. That's a crazy bug. Have you guys seen infested Terrans versus carriers at the moment, or versus BCs or anything? Anything that stands underneath them or over them just dies. So I get what the guy's saying. He's like, oh well, you know, before we could just shoot through armor, and now we won't be able to. It's like, come on, man, that's crazy. Apparently the first guy in here got a good response. How do you click on someone's responses? There's a way to look at a response? I don't even know. I don't know how Battle.net works, guys. I just look for the cancerous posts of the rage and the hate. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. We're not going to read any more of this. I'm also late for coaching. Sorry, I got to get into coaching. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the changes. Let me know your ragey balance wine and why you can't win games due to Blizzard's balance decisions in the chat below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support me on Patreon if you like doing that. Because I know people on YouTube don't like bothering going over to Twitch, but there's a link, I think, down below. I think we might have that up yet. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, thanks for hanging, guys. Appreciate the support. See you next time.